Just a quick disclaimer before I get into this video. I need to make it vehemently clear that I am not a feminist. I am on that crazy political middle ground between right wing and left wing called mental sanity.
We now return to the Transformers.
Western women have been told their whole lives that they are
This is it.
great, that they don't need to change nothing for no man, and if that man doesn't like them,
This is the solution. Yeah, that's gonna be it right there. Not gonna make me a sandwich, okay? See who makes a sandwich for who now.
all men are rapists in training.
It adds that nice salty flavor to the drink. If you're gonna rape anyone, don't forget to use soy sauce. It adds that nice salty flavor to the drink. Basically covers up any rapey drugs that you're putting in the first place. Soy sauce. They won't taste a thing. Isn't that right, Chuck?
That they don't need to change nothing for no man, and if that man doesn't like you for the useless fatty that you are.
Hey, baby.
Hey!
I got this for you.
Oh, fuck yes! Hell
I
yeah!
just got it.
Oh, dude!
It's the last one.
Fuck yeah! It's really good. That's good beer.
You should take another sip.
What's going on?
Hey, baby.
What's going on?
You alright?
Fuck, what's going on? What the fuck is this?
You're all plugged in right now. Sorry. But I have a video that you need to watch. It's on the screen.
No!
Yes.
No! No! No, I don't want to watch it! I don't want to watch it! No!
They should also be teaching
Please don't.
them a career
Please don't make me do this. No. No. God, no.
A few days ago, I made a dummy account and poked around to see what the pool of ladies in Bozeman is like, which is a conservative city. I checked some other conservative cities and was seeing much of the same. Granted, unmarriageable women, single moms, fat chicks, they're going to be attracted to online dating services because they can hide their flaws, at least initially. And maybe I'm too hard on women because I'm just projecting my own self-loathing.
And maybe I'm too hard on women because I'm just projecting my own self-loathing.
Yep. There it is. I'm done. I don't even have to do the rest of the video.
My criteria was age 18 to 30, no overweight women, no smokers, and no one with children. This led to a grand total of about 12 matches, only 4 of which weren't grotesquely ugly.
I cannot believe how terrible that statement is. So I understand people not wanting to date certain types of people, but beauty is absolutely in the eye of the beholder. One thing I've always kept in mind is that looks will fade, and your self-worth as a person has nothing to do with the way you look, but rather what's in the contents of your mind. I understand not wanting to date somebody that you're not attracted to at all, but not giving someone a chance because your bitchy friend finds them grotesquely ugly is a poor excuse to maybe finding somebody that you really click with and you can really be happy with. Let's be honest, this girl's shitty attitude towards everybody makes her grotesquely ugly too.
Ooh, sick burn.
There were a few hundred matches within that age range, but the vast majority were either very overweight, covered in tattoos, or were single moms, which all should be
non-starters.
for any self-respecting man.
Well then, since when are tattoos that bad of an option? I know a ton of people that only date people that have tattoos. In my opinion, tattoos on a man or a woman show people's individual stories and creative minds. I really believe that it also shows commitment too, because you're stuck with that art for the rest of your life. And with that being said, I know a lot of people that can't even decide what they want to eat for dinner, let alone something that they want on their bodies for the rest of forever.
Hey, those are cool tats, man.
Oh, for real. Thank you, bro. You
Yeah.
see the Cobra?
Hey, what is this one?
Oh, this?
Uh-huh.
That's my credo. No regrets.
2 hours later.
Western women have been told their whole lives that they are so great.
I'm sure you did. I can tell you for a fact that that's not how all people in the West raise their daughters. I was raised right alongside my brothers and I got no special treatment. And look at how awesome I turned out.
That they don't need to change nothing for no man, and if that man doesn't like you for the useless fatty that you are, well, kick him to the curb. He was a misogynist anyway.
Why would you say that?
I don't know.
They need to be honest with their daughters about how very important their looks and demeanor are. They aren't everything, but they're important. And they should also be teaching them that a career is secondary to finding a husband, unless they exhibit an extraordinary talent.
Being attractive is the most important thing there is. If you want to catch the biggest fish in your pond, you have to be as attractive as possible.
I hope from the bottom of my cold, dead heart that your fiance drops you like the dirty dish rag you are, and you have to know what it's like to fend for yourself, and know what it's like to actually have to go through shit. This is a disgusting thing to tell little girls, not to strive to become everything they possibly can be. Your whole life does not lead to you leeching off of somebody else. And your whole life does not lead up to being somebody else's servant. I'm sorry that you lack the talent, the work ethic, and the pride to be self-supporting. And that your personality is so dense that you aspire to no creative dreams other than sitting on YouTube and talking down to other women. Holy shit, the lack of self-awareness in this video is fucking appalling.
We're taught to outright reject the concept of submission, and in turn, it has created 2 generations of women that are defiant, resent their husbands, and demand egalitarianism, despite it being the very thing that kills their sexual attraction to their partner.
Submission is not a good trait to have. I like the Viking and the Shield Maiden idea more than being somebody's house pet. Just like I wouldn't put a super high drive puppy in a house full of cat people, I don't think it's fair to restrict strong and capable women to a subservient role when, again, they are capable of being something more.
Yes! That's awesome!
What can Western women do to start providing value to men again?
I don't think that we should be worrying about that question as much. What we should be thinking about is, what can people do for each other? What can you do to make your reality a good place, and a good place for the other people around you? And finally, instead of being so focused on the one-sided relationship that you're in, why not focus on this question? What can we do in our relationships to push each other to be better people?
Even if you don't have a lot of money or much to offer right now, the only way that you will ensure that you will never improve your prospects is by attaching yourself to a woman that is a liability in one way or another. It is going to be much, much more difficult to improve financial prospects in particular if you're saddled raising someone else's kid.
Another thing I need to say is this seems like an insane double standard. How can you expect someone to have the yes master, let me make you a sandwich type of attitude if you have nothing to offer. I'm not saying that I could give someone the world on a platter, but if he has extremely high standards, why shouldn't she have those standards as well? I can't say this is true of all people, because of course there's going to be absolute human filth out there. But having this attitude towards good parents who are sane people is completely asinine. At no point have I ever expected anyone to financially support myself or my daughter. And as far as the other moms that I know, they've never been that way either. But there's a massive difference in not liking or wanting kids and being a complete condescending douchebag to people who choose to have kids.
Their mothers never taught them what qualities were important to get and keep a man, and worse, they were told that all men are rapists in training and that they don't deserve basic respect.
Now, I don't know how old this chick is. Probably 90. My best friends growing up and even now have always been male. And I don't know what kind of weird societal Kool-Aid that this wench is drinking, but I don't know anyone in their 20s or younger or older than that that believes that all men are rapists. That's an absolutely insane thing to say. I find it hard to believe that you actually buy that people are teaching their kids this. Megan, stop! Oh god, please stop talking! No!
So maladjusted.
No!
When I look at women today, flat, defiant,
God, please stop!
there are huge amounts of debt. I look at them and think, why would any man ever show you basic respect that you are clearly incapable of reciprocating, or embark on a relationship and make time with you, let alone marriage? And I'm not coming from a place of... I believe that the most important thing a woman can do to avoid indoctrination and a drunken hookup culture, to have time to have a bunch of kids, and to prevent dropping a debt bomb on her future husband is to avoid going to college.
Wow! Fuck! And there it is. I'm done. I'm done. Done. Yeah, dude, for sure. The only way you're gonna find a husband is to be an uneducated fuckhole. If you're dumb, you won't ever have to leave the kitchen, because you can't find the darn way out.
They took our job! They took our jobs! They took your job! Yeah.
I also didn't need to have any number of jobs in finance that I've had. Largely, I was a wage slave that lazily did menial work for an already super wealthy group or individual. There really is no pride in that kind of work, even though people were telling me the whole time that this is what I needed to do to provide value to society. I was bitterly depressed, had no idea why, because I thought I was fulfilling my greatest destiny, and no one was telling me, look, this is a waste of your life. Find a good man, settle down. There's no happiness for women in corporate life.
This isn't so much a women problem as a you problem. You chose the wrong career. That wasn't good for you, and that's no one else's problem but yours.
To avoid going to college. Like I mentioned, what we need to be telling women is the company you're working for doesn't give a shit about you. And more importantly, your career almost certainly doesn't matter.
No corporate company gives a shit about its employees, whether it's male or female. And if you don't feel like your job matters, then you're in the wrong fucking line of work. I'm proud to say that what I've done in my career has absolutely mattered. And though you clearly have no aspirations to accomplish anything for yourself in your life, I, on the other hand, have and will.
And if you're successful, which will require you to sacrifice much of your femininity, well, at the end of that is an 80-hour work week and a Jamaican nanny raising your babies. And that's if you're lucky enough to meet some effeminate man that's still lost in the myth of egalitarianism to impregnate you at age 40.
I definitely brought this up earlier, but this is what you chose and the type of man that you decided to have in your life. There are many people that live happy and fulfilling lives that choose not to have kids until later on or at all. There are many people in the modern world where women are the breadwinners of the household, and that's because they're involved in the type of work that they can be the breadwinners. And there's nothing wrong with that at all. And to top this point off, there are so many dads I know that love being able to stay home and raise their kids.
I know so few women with remarkable intellectual abilities that translate to a specific and meaningful career, at least meaningful enough that it offsets having kids.
You make the Lord very nervous. Hellfire is burning me alive! The devil is here!
If you're like Ann Coulter, you very well may be the kind of person that can contribute more to the world through their work than through having children. But much, much fewer women are actually of this intellectual caliber and skill set than is generally believed by women.
Ann Coulter? Ann Coulter! The intellectual caliber of Ann Coulter? Is this bitch? What in the actual fuck is going on?
But you said we should just throw Judaism away and we should all be Christians then, or
Yeah.
Really?
No, we just want Jews to be perfected, as they say.
Wow, you didn't really say that, did you?
Yeah, no, that's what Christianity is.
We see things like fuck all white cishet men. One chick is even anti-femme. And some of these girls were nice, pretty Christian girls from big, wonderful families. Then they turned their carefully handled daughters over to Mizzou like so many parents in Missouri do. And she comes back
Start learning how to be an excellent cook, how to control emotional outbursts, how to really listen to somebody. Start educating yourself on political matters. Read for pleasure. Just make yourself better, genuinely a better, more useful, more learned person. You can learn anything on YouTube, recipes, another language, knitting, music, any subject matter you desire.
Oh, I can learn a lot on YouTube? What?
I just want you to take your education into your own capable hands. Allowing a bunch of Marxists to shape the way young women think in their most formative years seems criminal to me, and I would sleep much better knowing that these young ladies had taken it upon themselves to decide what they will and will not learn.
9 things I would like to tell to every teenage girl. 1. The world is trying to kill you.
If you do this for 5 years after you get out of high school, you'll be ready to be a good wife and mom by the age of 23.
Maybe not all of us want to be wives and moms. What the fucking shit? What century is this? Sure, take your education into your own hands, but you can't truly have a real education unless you're learning from somebody else and expanding your mind from there. I hate this concept that women need to be hidden from different opinions and are so easily brainwashed.
And unlike your idiot peers, which you will feel worlds above in terms of maturity.
Dude, you want me to respect your opinion? Yet every single point you made has been completely condescending nonsense. How do you expect anybody to take you seriously?
You will develop an appreciation of the myriad accomplishments of the men that made your easy existence possible. They're not your enemy, and learning to respect men is going to be central to any relationship you have going forward.
I really shouldn't have to comment on this, but I'm gonna anyway. Your easy existence is made possible by people. People. Not just men, not just women, people.
I've heard this complaint from many men, and I'm so guilty of this myself. So it's a behavior I really actively try to combat, and that's nagging and, to a lesser degree, sharing unnecessary information with your man. I don't know why we do this, but when my fiance asks me about my day, I can just feel the inane chatter pouring out of my mouth. It's practically involuntary.
Yeah, you know, sharing your thoughts and your feelings and what happened in your day isn't nagging. That's just called talking, sweetheart. Talking.
Nagging is the same kind of thing, the incessant chatter. So what I try to do now to control this, before I say something to him, I try to think, does this convey any necessary information? This has actually worked, and we typically don't get to the point where he has to tune me out. I really try.
Wait, what? I wasn't listening. Nothing says healthy relationship like only sharing necessary info.
Greetings, comrade.
And greetings to you, comrade. The sketch is double plus good, yeah?
Yeah. Hail Jesus.
Hail Jesus!
Okay.
Okay.
I asked my fiance for input on this script, what he thinks is the most important thing for women to do or to avoid doing in a relationship.
Honey, What can I do to become more of a codependent loser?
He said that the worst thing a woman can do is insult or emasculate a man in front of his friends. I'm sure we've all seen this a few times. A couple we know gets into a tiff in front of us, and the man stands silently looking at his feet or something while the woman berates him in front of everyone. I can only imagine a few more emasculating scenarios than this. So what I'll say on this one is try to be acutely aware of how you treat your significant other in front of his company. Even if you're really pissed, even rightfully pissed, be as cordial as you can and do not air your grievances until you're in the privacy of your own home. If you unload on him in front of his friends, it is going to end up being more damaging to your relationship than you possibly can imagine.
Forgive me if I'm wrong, guys, but this kind of behavior from a man is conducive to someone who is extremely insecure, not only in themselves, but also in their masculinity and their own sexuality.
It's okay to be gay, let's rejoice with the boys in the gay ring.
I just can't see how this is a healthy relationship where both sides are heard.
Now the million-dollar question. What can Western women do to begin providing value to men again so that we can repair gender relations and start to build a more functional society?
We create a more functional society by recognizing our strengths and embracing them. We become a more functional society by progressing and not regressing. And this goes for backwards ideas like yours and that of the hard left feminazis.
I take back my life! I'm in control! I decide if I'm good or bad, not you! I deserve a great life! This is about me! This isn't about you!
Gender relations is a completely made-up term, and rather than putting men and women into two separate arguments, we need to look on who they are as people and what strengths and weaknesses they have or don't have as people. Every human has different temperaments, and not treating people as individuals and strawmanning them into two separate teams is completely fucking asinine. I'm not saying there are a million different genders or anything fucking stupid like that. But I know so many men who are not what you think they should be, and I know so many women who can't fit into the box that you've made for them either. Hey, Cuddle Bear.
Hey, what's up?
I made you something special.
What'd you make?
It's just for you.
You made me a sandwich?
Yeah. You know what? I'm not even mad at you for making me watch those videos.
You're not?
No, not at all. Thank you.
Well, you're welcome.
Surprise, motherfucker!
Jesus Christ.
Thanks for watching this video. If you like what I do, please subscribe to this channel and like this video. I'm also on Twitch almost every night, and I'm also on Instagram, so follow me there too. My name is MorganIstKrieg, and this was my shameless plug.